Hit, top, throw it off. Diamonds, gloss, show it off. Bad women all up in the loft. Hit the gas, perk, I'm about to set it off. Hit, top, throw it off. Diamonds, gloss, show it off. Bad women all up in the loft. Hit the gas, perk, I'm about to set it off.
Yo, this is the Blacc Room, B.L.A.C.C room, and I changed the community to conversation, so that's all we doing is talking. That's Black, Latin, Asian, Caucasian conversation. And I got my friend in here, Keyairra Moore. She's back. And we are not talking about dark and gloomy shit this time. We are not talking about domestic violence and all that shit this time. If you want to support the Blacc Room, hit us up on Patreon. That's patron.podbean, podbean.com/TBRE. The Blacc Room Experience. So, where you want to start?
Where do you want to start?
It don't matter to me. We're both weirdos, so.
I'm not a weirdo.
You definitely a weirdo.
I'm definitely not a weirdo. I am peculiar. But
what does that mean? Peculiar.
I might be
I'm
strange.
pretty good with words, but
that's what I'm saying. I might be a little strange. I'm unusual. I'm not like most.
Okay, so what makes you my version of weird or your version of peculiar? Whatever you said.
Oh, whatever. I'm a loner. Like, I like being alone. Is that weird? No.
I mean, we were the only child for so long. I was the only child till I was 7. So.
Well, when did you see my mama have a baby?
Yeah, no, you never.
So I never came out of that. So, I mean, I'm just not like most people. Like, I don't like being around a lot of people. Maybe.
Most only childs are like brats. Are you a brat?
No, I don't think so. Do you?
I don't know.
You might think I'm a brat, but I know I'm not a brat.
No, I don't think you're bratty like that. I think you're, I don't know.
Set in my ways.
I think you're a bit of an introvert in a lot of ways.
I am. I most definitely am that. But have I always been that way?
I don't know, because ever since I've known you, you pretty much stuck around a couple of people, but you've always been like, you kept your thoughts to yourself. You always kind of kept that wall up with everybody.
That's true. And I've often wondered why. I don't know why. Somebody else told me that. They were like, you need to get out your head.
Yeah, right. You deep in thought all the time.
All the time. I tap out all the time. Like, I go somewhere and be like, oh, let me come back. I don't know why.
I see you daydream a lot, too. I remember that a lot. You just be sitting there just gone. Like, what the fuck are you thinking about?
And it'd be deep, though. It'd be like so deep. Like, I wonder why I do that. But somebody else told me that. They said you keep a lot to yourself, and you need to get out your head. I'm like, how do you get out your head? I think that's the safest place sometimes to keep you sane.
I think I'm the same way. It's a gift and a curse. It forces you to think about every possible outcome before you make a decision, and at the same time, it makes you kind of overthink shit. So
yeah, that's me. Hands down. I overthink. I analyze. You just can't tell me anything.
Oh, you definitely, especially when it comes to relationships.
Oh, let's go in. I definitely go in. Yes, Lord.
Nigga.
And I still
coming up with every scenario possible. Like, what the fuck? Why? How did that get in your head? What the fuck?
Because.
But I'm like that too. That's how I've caught women cheating. But like, so you what? Hold on. That don't make sense. How long did you, hold on. Where were you at? I'll be thinking about everything, and next you know,
maybe she wanted you to find out.
They end up giving up.
I'm telling you.
Not the way they be crying and shit.
Well, that's another story, but yeah.
Bye, bitch.
Why?
I be cutting motherfuckers off, man. I ain't shit. Well, I won't say that.
I don't think you cut people off.
I give them a chance to, like, cause I'm big on honesty. If somebody tell me the truth, I'm like, all right, maybe we can figure it out. I can't stand no lying motherfucker. I
What
can't
you
stand no
saying?
deceitful ass person. And me being such an honest and open person, people like that's not good for relationships with women that want to believe in the fairy tale.
What, being open and honest?
Mm-hmm.
I've well, to a certain, you know what, somebody else told me that like we had this honesty kind of relationship, so I thought, but they kind of said the same thing. But I'm a firm believer, like, give me the option to choose. Don't take my free will. So you might tell me something, or you might be doing something I may not like, but tell me. Give me that option to say that's cool or not cool.
Right.
But if you don't tell me and I find out another jacked up way, I'm not going to like you and I'm going to lose respect for you.
Right.
So my biggest thing is, I may not like what you tell me, but at the end of the day, I will respect you. Don't make me lose both of them now.
Right.
So if you do that, that makes me feel like you don't care nothing about me. You didn't like me and you don't respect me. So therefore.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it too. Especially when, like, I devote a lot of time into the psyche of the woman I'm dealing with. Like, because truth be told, it's hard as fuck to find a black woman that ain't fucked up in the head at least a little bit.
I think that's what y'all like.
And it sounds fucked up, but like whether it's her mama done taught her the wrong shit, or it's because she got daddy issues, or society saying that she's not good enough, she's ugly, all these different things. And it's like, who does she have to look up to? We had this conversation one time, like, who are the black female role models on TV today?
I don't know.
None of them. Like, there's no more Felicia Rashad on TV. There's no more Living Single. None of them chicks. Nothing else is on TV.
But you know what? When the last, I really haven't heard someone say that's my role model in a long,
They don't think
time.
that way.
No.
They don't even look at celebrities or people around them like they're role models anymore. Because their whole mind state is based on likes and views and shit like that. We're being programmed.
That's true. People are building their own. So I think you hear the terminology more of a mentor. I think a lot of people are coming out of the idea like, oh, that's my role model. Role models are good. If they were good, it helps you see where you want to go. But
right.
I like the fact in this new age that people, they think they can becoming themselves, if you will. But I think that's where we need to be, like helping people develop who they are, whatever that may be.
True.
That's what I believe. But it's not a lot of. I couldn't even think of. It's sad. I
like
never thought about
okay,
it.
look at the music. Like, I remember when labels work with an artist for 6 months to a year, just developing their stage presence or their demeanor or how to walk, how to become an artist. Like, you're good at making music or you have a dope voice and I want to harness that. They don't do that anymore. It's just like, oh, you got likes and views? Come on, let's go. Like,
wow.
It's not even about that. And I think that whole, how do you call it? That whole development is just really, really needed. Like,
it's necessary.
Right. With everything. Like, I was telling somebody not that long ago, I'm like, I be seeing my son like pick up certain traits from me and it'd be fucking funny as hell. Like, cause he's just watching. He's learning how to be a man or a boy just from watching me. And it's funny because people would tell me, oh, you look like your uncle, or you make this face like your grandpa, or you do. I'm like, that's what I had to look up to. That's where I learned how to be a man from.
So what did that, I mean, in that instance or that with that example, what has that told you or shown you in regards to how your son is going to learn how to be a man? Is it going to be by what you say or by what you do?
I mean, both. I think it has to be both. I mean, because if you look at kids at that age, all they know is observation, really. Even when they don't understand every word, it's like, if I ask him, are you sure? He always says yes, because he don't know what are you sure means.
I think he does. I mean,
like, even if it's like something that he said no previously to, like, are you sure? Yes. Like, he only knows yes when it comes to are you sure? But these three. So they don't understand everything that's said, and he thinks he knows every fucking thing. It's funny. Like, sometimes it's so damn fun. I forgot what he said one time. I was like, dude, that make perfect sense, but you're wrong. And it's funny as hell because you figured out why that makes sense. But you over here trying to tell me that I'm wrong.
And you might have been the one that was wrong.
No, me and Kathy was just sitting there like, that's smart as hell, but he wrong as fuck.
But you couldn't tell him he was wrong.
It's like the kid that say, or you tell the kid, oh, kick his butt, and they run around and kick him in the butt. Because you told them something and they did it literally, but
and
they're
that's
wrong.
How life is. Like,
right.
I mean, that's how life is. The Bible tells you, and I keep saying I'm a church girl. Anywho, that's what God or the Bible, Jesus told us to be. We need to be like little children. They think on the simplest terms. I think that's what's wrong with us adults. We've become so complex that we miss life. I don't think life is that complex. I think it's so simple that we miss it.
Right.
And that when you finally get it, was like, it was that all this time. I've been thinking it was X, Y, Z. And it was really just 1 + 1 was 2.
Right. People try to fix something that's not broken.
Right.
It's like a man and a woman loving each other. They try to fix it and change it. Or you're not getting this over me and it's a competition. And I was like, what? Why? It's a unit.
Is it a unit?
It's definitely a unit.
It's supposed to be.
Even if it's like a father and his daughter, or fucking, I don't know, your grandparents. So like that whole dichotomy between male and female has a different type of bond, no matter how you try to flip it, twist it, whatever. It just is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. And especially like when you're talking about relationships, man, why are people trying to change like gender roles? Like, why are these genders at each other's throat instead of just looking at like, we need each other, period?
But I mean, you got to look at it like this. No one really told us how to play the role. And then they were taught, nobody really told them how to play the role. Then it's just like people are here doing what they thought they wanted, if that makes sense to you. A lot of people grow up and they become what they think they didn't have. You know what I'm saying? Or they try to obtain things they didn't have, or be this person that they wasn't exposed to. So we have a whole lot of people running out here with no identity. Nobody told you. Just like you got to understand, your son looks at you and he's starting to do the things you did. You're that model for him. We didn't really have that model. So we had a lot of women in these days, since I don't know when, probably 70s maybe, women started to work. So what we thought the ideal woman was staying at home, that was destroyed. So you got a whole generation that got a mix up of what the role should have been. I'm not saying a woman should stay at home, but back then that's what I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this. I am dependent. I want a man to be a man. I don't want to be or play your role. That is not my goal in life.
Right.
That's not mine.
That's not where your value lies.
No. I want to be able to be feminine. I want you to be able to open the doors and you to pick up. I want you to do that. You are strong and mighty. I want you to be able to do all of that. I didn't get that. And I want you to use what you have. So at the end of the day, I think it got mixed up when people stepped outside of those roles, if you will. Just imagine if you wasn't in the house with your son. Who was he going to look at to mimic?
Right.
Kathy. He was going to look at his mommy. So at the end of the day, when you have people outside or their position, that's how things get confused or misconstrued, I believe.
Like today, he was at a birthday party and he's afraid of bouncy houses. I don't know what the
he's
fuck
smart. Have you seen some?
But it's because of his mom. Like, she's afraid of anything that moves fast. She don't do no jumping. She's not athletic. She's super uncoordinated. She'll fall off anything. Like, so she's super careful, even getting in the car. That's the first thing I noticed about her. I'm like, why are you so, like, careful? Like, what the fuck is that shit? But anyway, he's the same way. So the ground moving up under him, he don't like that. He's terrified. So I'm like, she like, oh, don't make him go in. I'm like, fuck all of that. I went right in with him. I'm like, you coming in with me? I'm like, do the super cat jump. And he holds my hand, you know, the PJ Masks shit that he like. Do the super cat jump. Hold my hand, jumping. And I'm like, do it by yourself. He jumping by himself. And before you know it, he by himself. I'm like, you never even challenged him.
Wow.
Like, she just so on this, that's my baby and I gotta protect them shit. Like, nah.
That's right. That's how we think. But that's why.
But that's not protection.
But that's where you come in to let her know. As women, that's our job, to protect our children. And yours is to what? As a man, to protect your home. And you know the overall benefit of him facing this thing at the age of, what is he, 3?
Yeah.
You will let him just be a baby. But I understand that you living in the pub. Like,
but I'm just saying, that's just one thing to mark off the list.
You're right.
Instead of him going to the he's been around bouncy houses 4 times. He's only 3. So instead of him going to the next thing crying, he figured it out.
But you made him face it. But as a mother, we probably would have been like, get my baby, you ain't got to do that.
And these kids, man, nowadays, it's like they're not held accountable. They're just out there running free, doing what the fuck ever just because of their feelings. I don't give a shit about your feelings at this point. I'm trying to make sure you grow into a decent man, and I'm trying to create all the opportunities that I can for you. When I was 7 or 6, I first started doing backflips and shit. Yes, I was probably 8, 9. My first time actually flipping with real gymnasts at Show Me Center. So I mean, that could have been a career path for me. And him being scared to just jump could have deterred him from that career path. That's the way I'm looking at it. I try to look at the bigger picture about everything. So.
And as a man, that's y'all look at long term. We like right here, right now, like kind of situation. Well, he don't want. We ain't gonna talk about tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow he might want to do it, but today he don't want to do it, so you can't make my baby do that. So I get that. But at the end of the day, do you think what you perceive to be what a man should be in the next 10 years, would that same ideal be true? Will it?
I think it will always be true because those values come from just nature. Fuck what society says.
And what would an example? You got to give me some examples. Like what
in nature?
Mean? Yeah.
Like, all right. You don't have to tell. Like, if you go get a pit bull puppy today, you don't have to tell your male dog to go lick a female vagina just to get her in heat. Somehow he knows.
I can't deal with you.
That forces her to get in heat. Anybody that ever breeded dogs, you know this. When the male gets to a certain age or a certain time, when a female, he licks her until she starts getting heat and they mate. You don't have to teach him that. He knows that. Even like, well, I don't even want to get into that because people going to get in their feelings. But anyway, I was going to talk about these puppies I had that was like fighting each other. But anyway, yeah. So you don't have to really teach them how to do nature. It's like I watch a lot of National Geographic and I just study like, what the fuck? Like, how these motherfuckers know this? Like orcas, for example, as killer whales. They travel in the packs and they usually never leave their mom. Wow. No matter what. Their whole life they don't leave their mom, they don't leave their sister, they always protecting the females.
Wow. Their
whole entire life. How do they know to do that? They don't give a shit about the males. They ain't sleeping with their mom. They just protecting her.
Wow, that's deep. I never knew that. But you know what? I think you have to be. I think you have to be in the vicinity or in the environment to sense it. Mm-hmm. They're in their environment, so they sense what they're supposed to do. A lot of us are outside of our nature, if you will. So our senses are off.
True, and that's very true, and that's the problem that I have with black feminists.
What?
Like, in my opinion, a black woman should never be a feminist because she's undermining her real fight, which is the black family. Like, our issues come with us having a lack of strength in numbers. Like, we don't support each other like other races do. We don't formulate, our own communities like other races do. We just take whatever we're given. And we're being killed at an alarming rate.
So it's not necessarily, it's a sense of pride that we lack in unity because we have the numbers, but we're not unified.
We don't.
But it goes back to what we just got done talking about. You're outside of your nature. We're outside of our nature. Who are we?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting at. Like, when it comes to being a black feminist, your primary job is to be about being a woman instead of being black first. And I think a man should be about being black before he's about being a man. I think the family unit is what we should focus on.
Let me ask you this: when you are filling out an application, what are the first probably 5 questions or 4 questions that they ask you?
Name, social, what else? I haven't
date
filled
of
out an
birth?
application. Yeah, date of birth. Yeah,
Male, female, and what's last on the list? Your race. So I think it goes back to this. We've been I ain't gonna say brainwashed, but we've been set up to think about that last.
Mm-hmm.
So subliminally, our people, that's what they think about. Who they are, and I'm a female.
Right.
That's it. I can't think past that. That's way down the line.
And it's like I said before, we know for a fact that certain policies were set in place to keep the black man out of the home. We know for a fact that they tricked our women into thinking they could do everything by themselves. And a lot of times they was locking us up at an alarming rate. And they made you believe that, oh, well, you ain't doing the same thing as the white man, so you ain't no man. All I need you for is money.
Wow.
That's the way a lot of women think.
That's true.
Like, the fact that he's being a father, a protector, teaching values and morals, all this other shit. Nope. I want dick, I want money, that's it. A lot of women think that way.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it like this. You have, nowadays, I don't know if the men I don't know, but a lot of men, that's all they want to get.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want to give you protection. They don't want to provide. I've been looking like, where are the real men at? Like, really? It's like, and that's why I believe a lot of women are jumping the tracks. Because where are y'all?
You want to know what I heard somebody say that kind of hit me, like, you know how to say a hit dog holler, but it hit me like, damn, that's kind of true. But this dude was like, he was like, man, hold on. Oh, I thought my shit stopped recording. He was like, man, dudes still want to lead. Dudes still want to be there. Dudes still want to be around their kids. They want to do all this other shit. But dudes don't want to be told what to do, when to do it. It's like a woman could be okay with you doing something one day, and then the next day have an issue with it because you're not doing it the way that she said it or when she said it.
That's
I'm like,
true.
When did that start?
It started when the men was taken out of the home and all the women sing or saw.
And then you had a whole nother generation raised by that bitter woman.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
So we were showing women controlling that. If I don't like it, I'm in control of it, so I changed that. Well, it goes back. If the man steps up, the woman has stepped up. But I tell people this all the time. I think people might get mad at me. We are in the situation that we're in because we as women, we forgot who we were. We forgot. They
looked at the fact that this was a man's world, so to speak, and they didn't look at the fact that women are so important. Women are so valued. A man's life is expendable compared to a woman's life.
Right.
The way that they look at situations like, okay, I always use this analogy. Look at the Titanic.
Okay.
Women and children get to leave first. Fuck the man. He got to go figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all weren't so important and so valuable and put on a pedestal and shit, that would never happen, and it's still going on.
Right.
Jill Scott said the woman is the flower and the man is the stem. I think I brought this up before. That's real shit. Like,
that's true.
It's our job to hold y'all up. It's our job to make sure y'all straight. But y'all want to do our job. Why?
You want to know why? I think out of fear and out of what am I looking to say? Out of fear and out of experience that you won't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. How many men in this day and time, and there's some out there, but how many men do you see doing just that? Holding their family, no matter what, I'm going to hold you down. It's like,
right.
I think a lot of us get caught up with men cheating and all this different stuff. That's another story on another day, and we probably get in there today. But you mess with my heart. I can't see the other parts you did because my heart messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And if my heart messed up, my mind messed up. And my mind messed up, I messed up. I can't see all that other stuff because you messed with my heart. So at the
emotional,
end of That's it.
Yeah.
And our emotions have controlled and I mean, tore up our homes, our emotions, all because we don't understand where we come from and what my position is. I can't do a job that you don't give me a job description.
Right. And see, that's what delegating responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. So back to what I was saying. Every leader can delegate responsibility. If you call a man the leader of the household, which means he's the head, she's the heart. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Both of them necessary for a body to live and function properly.
Right.
So if you call it that, why do you have an issue every time I'm telling you something that's beneficial or positive? Just because you don't like what I'm saying.
It's not that she doesn't like it. She doesn't trust it.
But no. Look, that can be true for some. But look, okay, let's say this is a football team. You watch football?
Of course.
All right. I'm the quarterback. You're the wideout. If I'm telling you, look, they're going to hit you with a bump and run. So you just take off. All right. And I'm going to dump it fast. So turn around quick. Okay. I'm letting you know. We're trying to score. If I'm telling you something, and just because I'm coming at you and I'm telling you something, how do you take that as a negative? If it's positive, we're going to score. We're going to win together.
But how many of you all are having that conversation? Like,
it's so hard.
I'm a firm believer. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a ride or die. It's us against the world. And I'm a firm believer that you should sit down with whoever you with every year. What's the game? What's the vision for this? Mm-hmm. You gonna quarterback this thing. I'm gonna be your runner. Whatever you need, we gonna do this. But you have so many people that got into situations and they didn't have no conversation. We done got in the middle of something to be like, well, it's just like you in the middle of it, and you throwing a ball at somebody like, hold up. I didn't know that was coming.
Right.
But you have so many people that's not conscious in their relationship. They're not conscious. They're not intentional in anything they're doing. They're just like out here. Right. And it's time out for that. Right. If you going to really be that force and you really going to be that, forget a movement, the force. That when you come in the room, people can feel that y'all in there. You going to be that. Y'all going to have that conversation. The vision going to have to be plain. But a lot of people ain't having a conversation. We're just out here having fun.
Right.
What do you really want? That's the question. That's the question. What do you really want? But everybody ain't, trying to be that force. Some people want to be a movement. They want to be that by themselves. And what was the movement by itself? Absolutely nothing.
You want to know, I had this conversation with somebody before, and since I don't date men, it was just like, oh, I never thought about it that way. But it's like, I always said, like, it's so hard to find a good woman. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman, they're so used to putting up a front and saying, I'm a good woman. I'm this, that, and other, because they're told and they're ridiculed for being a hoe and all this other shit. So they're taught from an early age to kind of keep that mystique or whatever. So it takes time to figure out if a woman is a good woman or not. But like dudes, a lot of shit that makes us good men or whatever is really extroverted in a lot of ways. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some dudes that are really good at hiding it. They just con artists. Don't get me wrong. They out there. Right. But a lot of times I be looking at these females. I'm like, so you had an issue with this, that, and the other. His priorities wasn't in order. He spent all his money on J's. You seen him, and this nigga had tattoos all on his face. All this shit that he's doing, and you surprised that it didn't turn out right. I don't get that. That's like me going to look for a chick at a strip club and saying, damn, she cheated on me. Really?
But I'm going to say this. A lot of people, I guess, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm a kind of person like, okay, you could be in a strip club, but don't mean you're in a strip club.
What? You gotta explain that. What
you can be in the strip club and not be in the strip club. Saying you can be in a situation and that not be you. Some people are doing stuff because this is what through them, and they're working through it. When you think back to the Players Club, why did she go to the stripper? Why did she become a stripper? Because she was going through school. She was in the strip club, but she wasn't in the strip club, and the strip club wasn't in her. I think with us, instead of taking it for face value, and that's what I've learned in this last year of my life, you got to take it at face value. The old saying with Maya Angelou, clearly, When somebody show you who they are the first time, believe them. Mm-hmm. It don't say when somebody show you who they are, believe. It says the first time.
Right.
I'm a kind of person, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. So I'm seeing something in you that maybe you don't even see in you.
I'm like that too. I
got it bad. But at the end of the day, when I get burned, I get hurt and I be shocked like, where you come from? And then I sit back and think about conversations we've had. This person has told you they're not good for you. They've told you they used to cheat on everybody they with, and you thought they weren't going to cheat on you. They told you. So what made you think because you were good, they was going to change them? No, I think a lot of women feel like I can change him by being this person that I am. No, you cannot change him, or you cannot change her. She's going to be who she is. Only person you can change is yourself.
And then on the flip side, he might change because of you. He might look at you and be like, damn, this one right here. Like, I heard Jay-Z talking about that with Beyonce. When he cheated, he was just like...
At what point?
He never felt that type of feeling like he wasn't in control. He never felt that feeling where it's just like, damn, he could lose everything. Even though he got everything. Right. Everything he worked for, he could lose everything. And it took that type of woman or whatever she is to him to make him change. Now he still cheated, but
he still probably
they worked on it.
Right.
They worked on it.
But you know what? I'm saying this. I want somebody in life. I'm not asking you to be perfect. Now I'm not saying cheat on me. I want somebody that you want. I mean, when you get down the line, when you 35 years old or 40 years old, you can say, I don't do the stuff I used to do when I was 16. Yeah. Why are we still talking about you cheating with 5 different women and you did that when you were 16? At what point do you evolve? I want somebody that wants to evolve. But you know what I see
getting into somewhere else.
Huh? What you saying?
You getting into something else.
I want somebody that's willing to evolve. I'm not saying be perfect, but I want somebody that's willing to do life with me and be on this journey of fulfilling who they are and evolving to be a better self. We're in a relationship, but I'm not in a relationship to change you, and you're not in a relationship to change me. But I think I'm a firm believer that your partner is a reflection of you.
Oh yeah, I got this quote in my book. I said, "The woman you choose is a reflection of you, your integrity or lack thereof." Right, it's real. That's real. Very fucking real. Like, it is. Like, I tell people all the time, look at a chick like Kim Kardashian. Any fucking celebrity that you look at that's used to getting chicks, I look at her and be like, I would never marry that bitch. I don't give a fuck how much money she got. Right. Because she don't even respect her own self. Right. But if you get a lame like Kanye, yeah, he'll go for it because that's all he know. Mm. Like, he's not used to dealing with females, so he looks at them in a different light. It's like only suckers marry hoes. And that's real. I know people don't like that word, but fuck all that. Only suckers marry hoes. That's what I was saying about the strip club. Now you could look at Diamond like, okay, she was doing what she had to do to get to school. Mm-hmm. I don't look at it like that because I know a bunch of chicks that did it the right way and didn't shake no ass for it, and I know a bunch of chicks that did it that way and it changed them. They were never the same. Look at her in the movie. Right. She came in all innocent, just wanted to do the right thing, being duped into doing something. Then they show her a few months later, she like, yeah, this ain't shit. I'm up here shaking my ass. Nigga, you better accept it. This the money. They do anything for money. Fuck that. Integrity is more important to me.
You're right.
That's where I'm at.
Well, you know what I've learned? That people lose their integrity when they don't know who they are. She didn't know who she was. Right. And I'm a firm believer that when you don't know who you are, you will go through some stuff. You will experience some things you don't have to experience. You didn't have to experience had you known who you were. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just like, I'm going to give it as a basic example. A car that's being driven on the river. You keep getting your engine flooded out because you wasn't designed to do that. But had you know you was a car to be driven on the road, you wouldn't have to go through that. Right. But I think it takes, if you don't have a father, because your father gives you your identity. Your father is the one that tells you who you are. So when you don't have that and you have the people around you, everybody that you grew up with can drive on the river, and you never looked at everybody else driving on the river, let me go drive on the river, not knowing. They couldn't give you your identity because they don't have what you have. And your daddy forgot to tell you, baby, we can't do that. You got my blood. We don't do that. We drive on the street. They can do. And
I
they
love
miss
what
it.
you just said.
They
The reason
miss it.
why is because I think by this being a quote unquote man's world, like I was saying, women judge themselves based on men.
Yeah.
Like they look at men and be like, oh, we're missing out with this and we deserve this, dirt, that, and other. What if men looked at women like that? What if the roles were switched and men was like just being bitches? Like, what if that happened?
I don't know.
Like, what if, let's say me and you married, right? You hear a noise, you scared. I'm like, babe, go check it out. I'm stay under the cover. I'm gonna get the kids. Like, what the fuck is that?
And you got some men out here like that.
I know. And that's what we're doing because they were raised by single moms that probably didn't understand what they were doing to their kid, and they turn into bitches. That's why you have so many of these issues with these dudes running to pistols first.
Yeah.
They're not men. They don't even believe in talking or knuckling up. None of that. They just want to kill you because they're in their feelings.
Right.
Crybaby bitches. That's the way I see them. Because when they get locked up, they be straight hoes.
Well.
Straight up hoes. I seen it with my own eyes. And I'm like, bro, you tough as a motherfucker on the streets. Oh, it ain't no pistols in here.
Right.
Oh, okay. I see. That's hoe shit to me. I can't respect that.
I don't think a lot of people care about respect anymore. People don't respect themselves, and they sure ain't gonna respect you.
Oh, that's a big issue. Lack of respect. What I was saying, look, I made this post one day, and I think this is so true about us. And I think if we can't talk to us, first of all, let me go to this issue. This one chick said, why you always bashing women? I said, first of all, it's funny that you say that because I'm always talking about our people, period.
Right.
Like, but you only hear the women part because that's the only thing you focus on. You just used to hearing people talk shit about men. I can go make 10 posts about men and what they should do better. And I can talk about them on this podcast. But the second I say something about a female, like make 2 or 3, you always bashing women. I'm like, damn, y'all don't even read. You don't even notice. Until something hit your ass where it hurt. That's when you notice.
And that's what it is. I tell people that all the time. That's it. It only resonates when I can basically, when it's really resonating to me. If that sounds crazy, but I can only pick up where I'm at. I can't pick up beyond where I'm at. So if I've been hurting the heart, you talking about politics and everything else, I ain't hearing that. But when you get to talk about it, you live like this, bro. That resonates.
Why
to you.
y'all like that, man?
People are like that. Anybody is like that.
I'm not like
you're
that.
Hurting that, that's where your attention goes.
Oh, okay.
To.
I see what you're
see
saying.
what I'm saying?
You talking about immediate pain. Okay,
and
I got
that's
you.
what I'm saying. So that should have let you know. I hit a chord with you. You must be in pain from that.
Right.
And I wouldn't take an offense because clearly that person.
Right.
I tell people this all the time. I've learned so much in this year. Oh my God. I don't get mad at people about them lashing out anymore and things of that nature. I tell them clearly that's obviously they're going through something. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't even worry about that. It ain't about you. Me snapping out, that ain't about you. That's about me and what I'm going through.
That's growth.
That's it.
To be able to recognize that and look in the mirror.
That was it. I was in a situation, in a relationship that was my reflection. And after the mirror was shattered, it pushed me back into looking at me. And it made me realize, man, you got some stuff you got to work on. And I was real with myself because I'm interested in involvement. I don't want to be the same person I was at 22. I don't want to be the same person when I was at 18. I really want to be a better me. At the end of this thing, I want to stand back and say, I've become a bad, woman. Not just a woman, but a lady. I've come into who I am. I want that.
I got that question.
What you mean you got that question?
I was about to ask you that.
What?
Well, we get into it in a second. Hold on. Let me finish what I was saying. The situation with girl saying, why you so something, it looks like you're pressed and that's not cute. I'm like, so it's not cute for a man to be a man. Like, what type of fucking dudes are y'all used to? A nigga to just shut up and do what you say? That, I don't get that shit. I never understood that. Like, I'm an alpha male through and through. I'm never gonna be one of them dudes that just, oh, okay, baby, whatever you say, honey. No, fuck that. No. I'm like, dude, if I see, it's irresponsible for me. I always look at it like this. If I got a big homie on the block, right, and he telling me to do fuck shit, he's a fuck nigga.
Right.
Like, that's just the way I look at it. If I'm a man out here and I'm not doing nothing for my community, I'm not worried about my kids, I'm seeing people walk down the street doing fucked up shit and I'm never saying nothing, I'm never taking up that responsibility, then who the fuck am I? That's the way I look at it. If you're not building, you're destroying. And that's the way I look at it, no matter what it is. So, because time is something we don't get back.
Right. That's
so
true.
When I look, I'm like, so to y'all think that's feminine shit for a dude to call a woman out on her shit. That don't make sense to me. So do you think you're doing man shit, masculine shit when you call a dude out on this shit? Mm-mm. That don't make sense.
No.
I don't get it.
But you said it earlier. There aren't any definition of roles. There's nobody. So is everybody crossing the lines in and out? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, you got it. I used to always say that the figure eight is.
That's what it is. And everybody just
chasing the wrong shit.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I mean, I just keep saying I want to evolve and come. I want to walk whatever I'm supposed to walk and how I'm supposed to be. I want to be the best in that. I don't want to be like you. And do you think you're an alpha male because you were raised by an alpha female?
Good question. No, I don't think that's possible. You want to know why? I don't think
I'm
it's
ready
possible.
for you to tell me why.
Because if that was the case, then I would behave like an alpha female. I wouldn't behave like an alpha male, I don't believe. Like, I was raised around alpha males. Like, it was my grandpa.
I was finna say you were raised by the alpha, period. Female, male,
right.
Period.
But,
so you was going to get that.
That's because my grandpa was so imposing.
Oh.
Like, he was that way against his daughters and all that shit. You know, my grandma, she very sweet and just laid back or whatever. He was just so imposing. He was rough. So, I remember times where, you know, my grandpa would be like, boy, you moving too damn slow. You moving like a bitch. Like, well, he wouldn't say that. He's like, you moving like a fucking woman. Like, you moving too slow and shit. And that used to make me think like, damn, grandpa mean. But after I got older, I'm like, yeah, he was probably right.
Wow.
Like, his frustrations and the way that he did certain things, I started to pick up and start to understand why he thought that way. Like, men are always thinking about time. Like, that's why I say it's a huge difference between men and boys. Like, boys waste time. Boys don't have their priorities in order. They don't think about tomorrow. They think about today. It's like a woman. Not saying a woman don't have her priorities in order. Let me fix that. Women always think emotionally in the moment.
Right.
Like, they always thinking about, okay, what am I doing for my family? Let me get my family together and worry about today, right now, this, that, and other. A lot of times that happens.
Right. That's true.
But I know dudes that's always constantly focused on the future. They never thinking about right now. But you take a boy, he always thinking about right now, no matter what.
I don't even know if he's thinking about right now. I don't think he thinks, period.
Right. A lot of times they don't.
I think they're just out here
exactly,
existing.
just existing.
Like, what were you thinking? Man, I don't even know what just happened, man. I just went by there and what you thought was going to happen, fool?
Right.
I didn't even think about it. I just
right.
went. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
I think we have a lot of people that's with good minds that just don't use them, period. You have some people in the now, you have some people in the future. But I'm learning. I kind of live for this right now. If I do my now right, my future going to be good. If I'm doing the now right, I can't go back to the past.
Absolutely.
And me not thinking ain't going to work because I ain't going to move ahead nowhere. I'm just going to be stuck. Right. So living and thinking in the now and making the right moves right now can set you up for the future. But
you always thinking about the future when you're doing that.
Yeah, that's true. You have it in mind.
Right.
You have it in mind. That's the thing. You do the now, but having the future in mind. Right. A lot of people don't. Some people don't even think they're gonna make it past 30. Some people want to die young, and they like, F it, I ain't gonna be here to see it no way. So I'm just
crazy.
Wing it.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's why they do shit like getting tattoos all over their face and shit.
They don't think about
the future.
They don't think about getting old. And I ask a lot of people like, what are you gonna do when you get old? And they looking crazy. Did you not think you were gonna get old? And
it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, people.
Some people. My aunt talked about this at my cousin's funeral, and she said you have some people in races. You have your sprinters. You know the different dashes. I wasn't into
40-yard dash.
You have some runners like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't gonna run this
100 meter.
They're not gonna run this marathon. A lot of people ain't gonna be a part of that. That's
Right.
You have to understand the race you've been given. But at the end of the day, you still got to be in mind what it's a finish. It's a start and a finish, and you have to keep the process in mind. You just can't
always talk about that, and I think that's something that really plagues us as a people. Like, we don't think about the full thing. Like, we just like, give me, let me look at what I can get now. I don't want to sit back and not make no money for a couple months, even if it's going to make me 100,000 in a year. Like, we don't think that way. Like, that's why we don't invest into the stock market as much as we should. We don't do a lot of shit that a lot of other people do. We don't do a lot with real estate like other people do.
I don't know if they don't do it because they don't think about it or they didn't feel like they don't have the means to do it.
Shit, I know a lot of niggas that sold a lot of dope and don't do shit with it.
No, because you know why? They think about buying the next Jordans.
Right.
They don't even think about sending nobody to school.
Gratification, yeah.
And that's just what this world is pushing, period.
Right.
Period.
I had this post that said, you can't fix something if you don't know it's broken. Sometimes a person tells you the truth because they care. Fuck your feelings. Be real with yourself and fix the problem. That's what's wrong with our people today. Can't nobody tell us nothing without us getting upset. Step outside yourself and get out your feelings. You might learn something beneficial.
Amen.
That right there, I posted that, and that got so many likes and so many people liked it. This was a minute ago. But that's where I was getting at, is like, a lot of times somebody tells you something and they go out their way to tell you something, you should soak it up. I've always been that type of person. Yeah. I've never been that type of person. If somebody come and tell me something, I'm just like, get out my face. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Because I looked at it like, damn, they taking the time to tell me something. Yeah. Even like, I got into it with my cousin recently, my cousin Melvin. And he had no idea what I was already thinking. So that's what frustrated me. I'm like, dude, what are you telling me this for? I was already doing that.
Right.
I just got off the phone with her. We just figured everything out. Hey, but I need to. I'm like, okay. I just sat on the phone, let him talk. I learned something. You know what I'm saying? But at first, what he was saying was just like, dog, what the fuck? I just did that. Right. What are you talking about? I already understand it. I'm not stupid.
Right.
But he was trying to get to a point, but he had a problem with trying to relay the message. Yeah. So I thought. But
you know what? I think that's wise of you. I think I'm gonna take that approach. I appreciate that because initially, people, we have a lot of people around us. We don't have a lot of people that's building you up.
Right.
So initially, when somebody come and tell you, you thinking they're coming to attack you.
Right.
But even in the attack, there's a message in the attack. So sit back and listen to it and take what you're supposed to take and leave the rest, let it be what it is. So that's dope. If somebody take the time to come and tell you something, sit back and listen to it. I appreciate that. I learned something.
Why would a person come tell you something constructive that they don't give a fuck about?
Wow.
Like even their intent, even if it's something that they say that might offend you or whatever, their intent is coming from a place of caring, no matter how you look at it.
That's dope.
Like most of the time, you might find an issue where somebody might just be an asshole for the day, but that's very rare. A lot of times when people take their time to tell you something, it's like, damn, like I remember one time I was walking down the street and I saw Daryl Redden on the bike. And this is right after the whole situation where I'm fighting them two brothers. So he was just like, man, you got so much going for yourself. You know, you have a vision. You think bigger than this place, this, that, and other. He was just telling me all this other stuff. But the way he came at first was like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing? What do you do? But most of the time, being young and somebody coming to me like that, I'll probably be like on defense. Right. But I was just like, damn, he just stopped on the bike to tell me all this shit.
Message.
Right. Yeah, he stopped on the bike to tell me all this shit. And at that point, it clicked. You could see it in my The Hood DVD Volume 8. What I said at the end, I'm like, I'm tripping. How do I let somebody get me to that point, to the point where I'm willing to throw it all away just because I'm pissed off? That's weak as fuck.
It ain't weak. It's just, I ain't gonna say it's weak. It's you gotta snap out of it. You don't even, I mean, a lot of times I don't think we think That every day you get up, you got people rooting for you, but you got some situations with people that's not, and they trying to knock you out of your position, knock you out of your spot. And I didn't view life like that because I feel like I didn't do anything to anybody. Mm-hmm. I might have a bad attitude and I'm working on it, and I might, be a little mean. But overall, I have a good heart. I've never done anything to anybody to make but at the end of the day, you have an adversary. If you know it, if you don't. Some of us know the people that's for us, some people us don't. But you got out, and it's sad. You have to live your life knowing everybody don't want to see you win.
You want to know what's the saddest thing to me? Is like, I can be completely rooting for a motherfucker, and I can let everybody know I'm rooting for this motherfucker. I can go have private conversations with this motherfucker and tell him dog, I'm rooting for you. Anything you need, let me know. And this same person won't ever give any ounce of constructive or any type of support or nothing back. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what the fuck is that? It's like self-reflection, and you just projecting that shit on me. Why?
That's what they are. But the thing is, you're giving this push because usually we love or we do things out of what we want and what we love. Okay, let me give you this example. I don't know if you've ever read this book, but it's called The 5 Love Languages, and it breaks down. Have you?
No, never.
But it breaks down different ways people love. My love language is gift giving. So my way of expressing that I love you or I care for you, whatever, I might give you a gift. Not saying I'm trying to buy you, but that's the way I express my love. Right. So when I go out and I done bought you something, I put thought into what I did. I ain't just go do something. You spent your
hard-earned money.
Yeah,
so it means that. Okay,
usually people love you the way they want to be loved. So if I'm a gift giver, guess what? The way you have to tell me that you love me, you have to give me gifts. Not saying I'm a gold digger, but that's my love language. And I tell people all the time, a lot of times people, we have this conversation, but you have to be willing to become bilingual in love, if that makes sense. You just can't talk your talk and think this is the way it's supposed to be. When you really care about people, I have to figure out, I'm going to check you out. Okay, you're a quality time kind of person. For him to know that I love him, I'm going to spend quality time. Now with me, he going to have to do the vice versa. I said all that to say, you do that because that's what you want. You give people what you want. Usually we give people what we want. And people they're not smart enough to say, this is what I need to give back to him. They only think about what they want and what they need. So they're giving you back what they need. Right. Maybe they want people to hate on them, so they're going to give you back that same kind of energy. We give off the energy that we really want to attract. So at the end of the day,
that's crazy.
That's what it is.
And that's dope, because I've never been able to even think that way, to even get to that point. But that's my initial reaction was like, damn, like, what is it? You hating? Like, some people, they hate the fact that you love them. Yeah. They hate the fact that you are so secure in your position that you can go out of your way to help them or be there for them.
But you know what that says about them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's projecting.
That's it.
That's crazy.
That's what it's all. When I learned that, that's when I learned what people are going through is not necessarily about the person. It's about what's going on inside of them. You look at life totally different. Stuff that used to bother you, you be like, man, they really going through something. I ain't even gonna let that knock me off because I'm a firm believer that we all here having different experiences. I don't know what you came to experience. You don't know what I came to experience, but we all have these clashes that we happen to be in each other's life experiencing what we're going to experience. Right. What I got out of a situation, you might like take something totally different out of it. But that's because we came to experience different things for different reasons. So at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that people, that's about them.
There's been situations, and everybody knows this is documented, where I've completely stopped whatever I'm doing to go and help another person's situation. Yeah, that's you. I've completely lost out on thousands of dollars, whatever, just to help somebody, just because I look at it like this. If you're winning, I'm winning. That's two people winning. Come on. Right. And whoever with you, they're winning. Whoever with me, they're winning. That's more people winning. And that's more people that's going to hop on to whatever we're doing. But you so focused on like this shit, you're not seeing the bigger picture. And that to me is just so unfortunate, man. I swear to God, if that was a way where I can just say, work for me for 6 months, just work for me for 6 months, and take 10 to 15 people, we all be paid. Their whole family be taken care of. Everything will be different. The problem is you can't do everything by your fucking self. Nobody's thinking about what's going on down the road. They don't want the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They just worry about looking at the rainbow.
That's true. A lot, but you have to realize a lot of people, they can't look at the rainbows because they're having a war inside of them. They're having a storm inside of them, and everybody knows the storm comes before the rainbow. So I can't ignore your rainbow, and I'm in a storm. A lot of people walking around here hurt, depressed, oppressed, confused, diffused, anything you want to make up people. So I can't. But when you've come to that point, that lets you know you cool, like Steve Harvey. You know who you was back then. You know who you is right now. You know who you gonna be in the future. And you cool with all of them. That's when you get to that point. But when you have so many people in conflict with themselves, I cannot come and match up with you because I'm in conflict with myself. What I'm going through has nothing to do with you. Right. It's all about me. So when that's why you got to sit back and you got to watch people that have come to the point that they're secure in who they are and where they're going, where they've been, and they cool with all of them. They can talk about the old person, the new person, what they want to be. That's who you hook up with. But people still out here trying to figure out, and they doing the next thing that's popping. You like, nigga, we did that 10 years ago. Right. They just remade what we did 10 years ago. We the trailblazers. You falling behind. Right. But they be going through something. I've been that person. I've been the person that you just be in conflict with yourself because you ain't okay with what you was, or you was okay with what you was, but you ain't okay with what you're becoming or what you're being right now. You can't think about the future. Right. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, and some people they don't want to embrace that type of growth. I mean, I get it. Growth is uncomfortable. I get it. It's always uncomfortable, but it's like, if you have all the signs pointing you into this direction and you see this mountain of gold over there, yet you just comfortable in this spot, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. And there's been plenty of situations where there's been situations where a person, I can have a one-on-one conversation with a person, and then as soon as they get around somebody else, we having the same conversation. Their whole attitude is different. The way they come off is different. They're standoffish and all that. You know what what is that?
Geicos.
What that mean?
They trade for the situation they in. I mean, Geico. You think about the Geico commercial. Look, you just a whole commercial. Just like clearly. You switching up. Like clearly. Gotcha. So gotcha. I think that's just, that goes back. They don't know who they are.
Right. Yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough. We in here talking for real. I think we went a little deep. Let's see. I think we went deep. Yeah. This is the question I wanted to ask you. Okay. At what point did you realize you were a woman?
I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I realized I was a woman when I was able to stand in a test, and even my mother looked at me in awe. I knew I had, because I was in a different zone. Right. It put me, but it wasn't until I don't think it wasn't until life came and knocked on my door, if you will, until I had that experience that I realized I was a woman. So I think, not saying everything that make you a woman has to come in traumatically, but I think when you have who raised you and you know they're a woman or a lady or whatever, and they can look at you and sit back and say, you more of a woman than I am, and you holding down stuff, and you ain't start smoking crack, and you ain't out here drinking, you like, I handled that like a woman. But I don't even think I'm a woman, man. I be thinking I don't know where I came from.
You above that?
I'm above that.
You know what was crazy? I was just about to say that. At one point, let me see. I can't remember the exact point, but at one point I'm like, I'm a man now. Like, I'm really a fucking man. And then there was another point where I was so in tune with who I am, and I was so confident in my ability to do whatever I wanted to do. And I was so, how do I say it? Like, I had elevated my mind to a point where I'm like, I'm not a man anymore. I'm a king.
Right.
I really felt like I'm really a fucking king out here.
Right.
And you know, people teach you to be humble, and they're always talking about, oh, be humble, be humble, be humble. But then you don't have to be humble with yourself when you're at home. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at home just thinking, I'm like, I remember like just looking at certain things and wondering how it felt to have material things or to be able to, you know, build this and start that, create that. And now I know it ins and out of everything that I'm doing. And then it's like, I'm just looking for the next journey. I'm looking for the next chapter, and I'm just constantly working because that's what's keeping me alive inside. You know what I'm saying?
And that's your cue right there.
And to me, that's the level of being a king. It's like, no matter what she do, I'm not going to come back at her. I'm not going to break her just because I know I can. Like, no matter what goes on with this, that, and the other, I'm always going to hold my integrity to a higher level. I'm always going to conduct myself in a respectable way. Even if I fly off the handle being pissed off, I'm never going to throw it all away because I'm worth something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, it's crazy. And a lot of people, they haven't reached that level, so they don't really understand.
I get it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the crown made you king? Or do you think
the king makes the crown? The king definitely makes the crown. Okay. But his adoration and his respect for that crown is what keeps him on point.
Wow.
Because everybody falls.
Everybody
has problems. Everybody stumbles. But it's just that respect. Like I said before, the last time I went to jail, I fought that case. I was going through that, getting my house broken into, losing money, being set up by a friend, all this other shit. I've given this nigga money because his son just got cancer, and my son was just born and he was perfectly healthy. I felt guilty. You know, it was situations like that, giving motherfuckers places to stay. All of that shit accumulated, buying a new truck, all that shit accumulated, and all my money was just gone. I got out. I had lost that situation, plus a relationship I was going through that me and you talked about, and I felt super low. But then it was just like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I know who the fuck I am. I'm good. I didn't have shit.
Right.
I didn't have shit, man. And I was like, I'm a fucking king. I'm not tripping.
And that's I gotta interrupt you. That's what's dope. I've always said I don't want anything outside of who I am to be contingent or make me feel less than who I am. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you be broken down to bare minimums. Mm-hmm. But the stuff didn't make you. The crown didn't make you. It was what was in you that made the crown, that made it even possible. It was what was in you that gave you the characteristics to say, we're going to crown him king. Had you not exhibited those kind of characteristics, guess what? You couldn't handle the crown.
Right.
It's
all about what you go through.
That's it.
Yeah.
So when you get down to that lowest point, the stuff doesn't matter if you have it or not. Guess what? Just because I am who I am, I'm going to make the stuff. So you going to think.
Right.
I got all this just because I am who I am, because I exhibited those characteristics, or I move like this. People probably would never know you had all these issues going because you never moved like you had those issues going. No. They'll never know your bank account is sitting on whatever day because you carry yourself like that.
Right.
So at the end of the day,
right.
A lot of times we're broken down so we can help, but realize it was never about the stuff. If you could ever get you and be okay with you, we can go a long, long way. But I think a lot of us fight where we are and who we see in the mirror and who we think we're supposed to be and what people have told us we should be and who we've made up in our minds that we are. You know what I'm saying? Because of what people have told us to be. Once you become cool with that dude or cool with that chick inside of you, I think you can do anything. Go anywhere. You can say anything and be okay with it because you're like, well, at the end of the day, what you gonna do?
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm with that, man. At the end of the day, my thing, I remember growing up, and like I said, Grandpa, Terrell, all of them, they put that chip on my shoulder that was like, Nah, never let nobody step on your toes. Never let nobody feel like they getting one over on you. Don't let them disrespect you. None of that shit. And then it's like, after a while, it's like they can't. No matter what, they can't.
Right.
Because I will laugh a fool off into oblivion because I know how far I'm willing to go.
Right.
And I know what I'm gonna lose.
Right. That's dope.
So I would laugh a fool off like a motherfucker, and they know it. Straight up. And it wasn't until I got to that point where I'm like, damn, I done leveled up like a motherfucker. That must be some other level.
It is.
And that's kinghood.
Levels, you moving on dimensions at that point.
Right.
You done superseded that.
Right. And that's when shit like caring about other people came. That's when shit like reading all these different books, all these Robert Greene books and all this other shit came, and just really wanting to see how far this shit goes. Because I feel like this is something different.
It is. You know what it is? You became one with yourself.
Absolutely.
When you become one with yourself, and people might think I'm crazy, but I really don't care because I'm one with myself. You become one with God because He lives in you. And when you realize that you are a God, that's another story on another day. It's all good. I mean, for real. But it's not until you become one with that. And I mean, when I say one with that, I mean at peace with it. And I mean, like I keep saying, I'm a church girl. Where there is unity, He commands a blessing. When you're unified within yourself and stop having conflict of all this other stuff, you can move anything, mountains, whatever literal, but you can move anything that's in your way. That's when you came to that bottom, guess what? You became one with yourself, and you was able, and look at you now. You see what I'm saying? You may not be where you want to be,
but it's way better than it was. Like I sleep good at night now.
Come
you know
on.
what I'm saying? And I got money sitting up, and I'm fine. My son had whatever he want, whatever.
Right.
And it's so weird because I remember right before going into that situation, I remember just trying to please
everybody.
Right. Just trying to please people, just worrying about how this woman looks at me, worrying about if she like my music or not, like worrying about, like, cause I always compare myself to people that already got their situation or whatever. I don't really compare myself to people that I'm in a situation with because that gives me something to reach for. So, like, I'll be like, oh, you like his music? Like, okay, maybe I should make music like that. Subconsciously. Not even thinking about, how dope I feel like I am. You know what I mean? Not even thinking about, oh, look at all those fucking albums. I did that. I don't even think about that. I'm like, how can I make her like my song? Because I love her.
Oh, wow.
This whack shit. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. So, have you stopped comparing?
To the greats? No. I would say I compare their success, but as far as what we do in the booth, hell no. Because I don't think we do the same shit.
But when I mean, this is when you really into something, when you understand that you can't be compared. You can't. Right. Your handprint told you that. No, it's nobody like you.
Yeah, it's artistry. Yeah. Like
not just artistry, the fact of individuality.
Right.
There's not another
that's what I'm saying. Like, a true artist is about making art. He's not about pleasing whoever looks at it. He's just getting it out. You know what I mean? And that's the way I'm looking at it with my music. It's like, with this new album, I don't give a fuck how many spins it gets. I don't give a fuck if they like it in the club. I'm about the feeling. Like, as soon as you hear that shit, like, cause if you listen to a Tupac album, you're not worried about it hearing it in the club. You don't give a shit about that. But you worried about how it makes you feel every time you hear it. You listen to a DMX album. It's about how it feels. I don't care about none of that shit.
You know what James Brown said? He said, if it sound good and it feel good, it must be music. And that's what you got to live. If it sound good and it feel good to you, one with you, don't compare it. That's it.
That's a dope ass quote.
It's got to be music.
I haven't heard that. I'm big on quotes. That's a dope quote.
Well, I love James Brown because he the one that said, you ain't gonna make me step outside of myself. You better get out of here. James became my new hero when I, watched the movies. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Whew. That was deep. Again.
Once again.
Yeah, we should do this more often. Let's do something a little more light.
A little more light. We always go deep.
We always get into some deep shit.
We want the people to go deep because you got to go deep within. That's what's wrong. People are being too shallow. You so deep. And you think about superficial stuff, sell an album, all that different stuff. If you go deep within, all that stuff gonna come. All of it.
Right.
That's what's wrong with too shallow. Let's go deep.
Yeah, man. That's why I said on that control track, I said I lay my heart out there for each and every one of y'all. It's not, people think it's simple to just hop on the track and just say how you truly feel and be vulnerable. That ain't easy.
Anytime you tell it, I mean, even if you ain't on the track, if you write a poem, if you expressing yourself to another person, it's not easy to let yourself out there. But when you one with yourself and you don't care anymore, it's easy to do.
Right. Yeah. When you're sure of yourself and you can see the growth in the music before. At first, I'm like trying to sound like people, or I'm trying to show like I can out rap you. I don't give a fuck. I can out rap you. Like that was my whole thing. But now it's like, please, I'm trying to get this message across. How I feel and what I think people need to start thinking. I can't stand a fucking flock of sheep. And that's what we creating. I hate social media, man. I'm only on it because I need it. And
you know how I feel.
Well, you ain't on it. Why you ain't on social media? Yeah, let's talk about that.
I just don't believe in it, man.
Why not?
I just don't.
You selling the dope, nigga? What the fuck?
No, I got to get out of my head. Like, at first I wasn't on it because we already talked about this. I like being mysterious. I don't like, I miss the old days when you see people and you ain't seen them in so long and you can embrace them and what's going on in your life. I think it's taking that away. Right. That, of course it's great if you can and you live in miles, 100 million miles away, whatever. It gives you that, but I don't believe in let my right hand alone what my left hand doing. And people put everything out there. I like being a mystery. I want you to think. I don't care if you're thinking about what I'm doing. Right. I don't want to tell people what I'm doing. Very true. But you can't live your life putting everything out there. Everybody know everything you do. And I went over here and I ate a piece of cake and I went over there and I farted and it went left and it's coming back right. Why do you have to put that out there?
I just posted something about that like last week. I said, man, if I go on a trip with a woman and she Snapchatting and Facebooking and going live and all, I'm like, man, she on that trip by herself.
And you know what?
I don't like that shit because it's like, okay, take for example, let's say she do that and she tag me in a post. And some niggas like, oh, this nigga is in fucking California or whatever.
Let me go to his crib.
Right. Like, why would you do that?
That's what I'm saying. But you know what?
But what I've seen is like, if I'm dating somebody that's on Instagram, they like, oh, he got a lot of followers. Let me show that I'm with him. Like, they get validation from that shit.
That's what people look for.
What is that about?
I don't know because I'm not a part of that nature. But I'm going to say this. I'm at a point where in my life, like, I understand that I'm here to experience life. And I'm here to experience life. And life was sent to me so it can experience me. Mm-hmm. And if I'm here to experience life, I ain't got time to be. Don't get me wrong, I like taking pictures. I like all of that. Don't get me wrong. I like that. But I'm here to experience it. If I got to worry about what you thinking, see how many likes, I'm missing the experience. I didn't come here, and I feel like I know why I'm here. I didn't come here for you to like everything I'm doing. I could care less. I'm here to give something and get it. And I feel like it takes it away. Don't get me wrong. When you keep whooping me about it, I think it's something I need to do. But I have to have a purpose in it.
I only want you to do it for business reasons. That's it.
I need to.
It's the same as this podcast. You have something to say. Your mind is different.
Right.
It's very unique, and I think you should put it out there. That's the only thing. Other than that, like, I think you'll be a force online for real. There's this one girl, she does nothing but poetry, and she got like 90,000 followers, but the second she go live and say a poem, people be all over it and shit. Wow. Now she's making a poetry book. I forgot her name. I should have shouted her out. Her name like Maui, some shit like that. Okay. She's dope.
That's dope.
What was I about to say?
But you know what, Copyright? Let me say this. And I call you Copyright because I can't. I had to become one within myself and know my force. And I had to have a reason. You have so many people out here just doing it just because everybody's doing it. I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. I'm sounding like my boy. I don't want that for myself. Mm-hmm. I want to have a reason to do what I'm doing. And once we've already talked about this on the last one. I had to face some things, some fears or whatever. And now that I've come to that and I'm okay with it and we cool with everything, my past, my present, my future, I can come and talk about some stuff. But it was some stuff I had to heal from. I ain't got time to be. I mean, I would go and encourage people. Don't get me wrong. But I was hurt, like deep down in my soul. Just like I had to work through some things. So now that I'm at a point, I can share my healing process. I can share life after being healed kind of situation. Now I got something to say. It's time to, but at first I couldn't do it. No.
Well, you got my support.
Oh, that stuff. I always had your support.
I guess that takes away from this question I wrote. I said, how can you improve yourself? I think for me, I think I need to work more on doing like the basics, like making phone calls and working out paperwork. I hate all that shit. I'm such a creative. It's like I can't stand that shit.
Really?
Yeah, like
you used to be.
I wish. Yeah, I used to, but it's like I'm doing so much. I be thinking like, oh, that's a waste of time because that don't feed that hunger that I have for creating and being somebody that's putting something out. I always think about the movie Troy when I say Brad Pitt had a partner, Achilles, where he said, if you, what did he say? He said, no, his mother was a god. And she said, if you go to Troy, you will die, but everybody will remember your name. He said, if you stay here, you'll have a wife, kids, live out the rest of your days, but no one will remember your name. And he went to Troy and died because he wanted to be remembered throughout history.
Wow.
And that was thousands of years ago.
Wow.
And that's why I'm at with it. Every project I put out there, every video, every song, I want it to be at a point where motherfuckers can go back and be like, damn, this nigga, he was on it. Like he was on some Tupac shit. Like he could put out another album for forever. Right. That's what I be wanting. I'm always thinking about the next thing. And it's like, but if only I had a team, I could be heard and shit. And it changed some things. That's what this podcast is about. More content, more shit. Right, content is king today. So, yeah, that's where I went. What about you? What, the social media thing? Or being able to open up and let go?
Yeah, that would be mine. Open up and let go. Open up, blast, and then just let it alone. Like after I blast, just leave it alone. That's my thing. And stop second guessing myself. My God.
Do you remember the movie The Kings of Comedy? Mm-hmm. Who, if they redid it now, who would you have as the 4 Kings of Comedy?
Oh,
or who would you like to see in the show?
Cat Williams, am I wrong for that? Like Cat
he's
real.
on mine.
Cat is real. Like
yeah.
I'm looking for that realness. Cat. Oh my gosh.
What?
I was gonna say Kevin.
I would say Kevin only because you can't leave him off of that. Like he's the number one comedian.
Kevin is like he on a different kind of like dimension.
He ain't that funny to me, but he's
just something. He's been sent to entertain in a different way. I like him, but I wouldn't want to see him as a kid.
Okay. What else you got?
Oh my lamb! Who else? What's your guy? He ain't no king either. I mean, Cat is hands down. I'm just gonna have to say Cat because I feel like we don't need multiple. It's one king. You can only crown one king at a time. And under that, you can only crown one king at a time. The rest of them are princes. And we're gonna leave that alone. It's only one king to a castle. It's only one king to a castle.
To one castle, but there's multiple kings throughout the world.
We're talking about our show.
Okay, go ahead.
Here, and on your show, we just gonna have Cat. But I feel like Cat can be funny. He can be relevant with politics. He can be relevant with this fight that we're in. He's just relevant in that regard. We just need to get him together. But I think Cat at the end of the day, I would love to see him.
Me too.
That's it. That's the only person I would like to see.
Okay, my list. I got Cat Williams. I do have Kevin Hart because Kevin, first of all, his star power is way over theirs right now. And Kevin is, he's funny to a multitude of people. Now, to the black community, it ain't like that. It ain't hitting hard like that. He's just cool. And that's fucked up to say, but it is what it is. The third one I would have to put is Mike Epps.
You know, I thought about him. Dave off of what's the name? Ain't that him? Right.
Yeah, Mike Epps.
I like him.
And I would headline it with Dave Chappelle.
I forgot about Dave. But
That was
at the end of the day, I think Cat can hold it down. Sorry, guys.
Cat definitely. Cat might fuck around and headline the motherfucker for real.
Cause Cat, you know what, Cat, I don't know which one it was on, but Cat got me on a whole, as my sister says, a whole different time. Like when he was talking about being true to your star player.
Yeah.
I could have just
your motherfucking star player.
That's it. And that's the lesson of this whole podcast today.
Right.
Do what? Say it again. I want you to say it. I can't say it. But that's what we need to do.
Be true to your motherfucking star player.
And that's what we ended that with. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about, being true to your star player. And that's you.
Right. So, damn. The reason why I wanted Kevin Hart is because I think Kevin Hart would be a dope host for it.
Yeah, he could be a host.
I can only see him or Dave Chappelle hosting it.
Yeah,
other than that, I can't see Mike Epps hosting the motherfucker.
He's too much of a fool. No.
Right. But even though he can't host, I just can't see him being that dude that's gonna carry the show like Steve Harvey did.
Yeah.
With his. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I got it.
Who
okay.
do you like white comedians?
It's only one that I don't know his name.
Who?
I don't know. He married to a black lady. What's his name?
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Bill Burr, that's my dude. Yo, I swear to God, yo, Bill Burr, he gotta be in my original Kings of Comedy too. If we was doing a white dude, man, Bill Burr is fucking hilarious, man. That dude be having me in tears. I'm like, man.
Oh, you done went back. You done went deep in your time, Bill Burr.
Yep, I already knew. Like married to a white, black one, Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Him. I think Joe Coy is fucking funny as hell.
Yeah.
Who else would be in line? What white people, or at least different people? Larry the Cable Guy, maybe.
I don't know the person. Yeah.
Get her done. Made her. I think he kind of funny, but that's about it.
He ain't ringing the bell.
Sorry. You never watch Cars?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't have children.
He be on that redneck special or whatever. He funny.
Okay.
But maybe George Lopez, something like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Somebody I don't think is funny and everybody think is funny is Chris Rock.
Why you say that?
I don't think he's funny, man.
I'm not gonna say anything.
He alright, but man, it's like
he
praising him like he Eddie Murphy or some shit. I'm like, he's not that funny, bro. Like
somebody thought it was funny, real funny.
I don't think he's that funny. Let me see.
He was good in his time. Outside of that, our generation probably wouldn't, but he did what he needed to do in his time. Right. He capitalized on that. So
he's alright. His new shit, the tambourine shit. I promise I'll laugh one time. Yeah, he got one on Netflix called Tambourine. I watched it. I laughed one time and the whole thing. I was so annoyed. Like him and Adam Sandler shit. Oh. Adam Sandler is funny in movies. I think certain comedians are funny in movies, but when it comes to stand-up, it's like, it's cringeworthy.
That's what I'm saying. That's an art within itself. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is.
A craft.
Definitely is.
I think the funniest ever in movies is Eddie Murphy. That dude.
In what?
Several movies. Coming to America.
Yeah, he did. You would.
Life.
Yeah. Oh, that's your movie, right?
Hell yeah, it's my movie.
I'm not gonna deal with you. Not today or tomorrow.
The Wilkins driver got the flu. And asked me to fill in for him. Hey, you gonna fill in somebody, nigga? You can't drive.
I'm not.
You got no driving license. You ain't drove 40 years. Man, that nigga was so funny. He reminded me of my grandpa so much. What else? Nutty Professor. He just hilarious.
You gotta give it to him. He just dope.
Norbit.
Yeah.
Funny as fuck.
He just dope. Let's just
say
he just dope.
Eddie Murphy.
He just dope.
Eddie Murphy's that dude, man. I wish he'd come back and do stand up. I swear to God, I would buy a ticket. I ain't bullshit. I don't care how much it costs. Yo, have you heard about these Beyonce tickets? Sheesh. I don't even want to get into that.
Well, let's skip over it.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Skip.
Yeah. What's your favorite place to eat?
Favorite place? I don't know, Cabaret. That's hard. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
no.
we're gonna do breakfast. My favoriteest place. Guess.
Favoriteest place breakfast?
Yeah, my favorite place.
I don't know.
The crib, nigga. The crib. Now I like.
Shit, I don't know.
I like. I really like this. What is it called? You made me forget. I like Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
I like
go
Waffle
ahead.
House too, because I like a waffle.
Have you ever went to a place that's like expensive and just exquisite?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I like Eddie V's.
That was your ass eating a fucking what was it, mussels?
Oh no, that was us. Wilderness. No, I was eating. What was I eating? Oysters.
Oysters. Ugh.
Yeah.
God.
I like Ruth Chris too.
Okay.
I really like Ruth Chris. It's so good. Oh my land. But I mean,
My favorite. Let me see. My favorite place to eat. There's this place in Vegas. God, what is his name? I gotta look him up. He's always on the food channel. The dude with the blonde spiky hair or white hair.
Yeah, I know.
It's his restaurant in Vegas. It's on the snow. Is it on the Strip? Yeah, it's on the Strip. And man, they got the bombest waffle fries, and the burgers be big and fat. I'm like, man, steaks juicy. I love that place, man.
I'm hungry right about now. What time?
Where you want to go?
I'm hungry right about now. I don't know. I'm hungry.
It's early.
Yes, indeed.
It's early. But yeah. You want to dive into some more shit? We had about an hour and a half.
No, we should stop.
All right, I got one more question. Do you know what a cuck is?
A motherfucker?
A cuck.
Mm-mm.
C-U-C-K.
Mm-mm.
It's basically the type of dude that like tell a woman whatever she want to hear.
Is this a terminology? Hold up. Did you just make this up?
No, I didn't make it up. It's real.
It's like Urban Dictionary?
Yeah.
Oh,
cuck.
you know I'm not here.
You know what a cuckold is, right? As a dude that like to see other men fucking his wife. That's a cuckold. A cuck is a dude that just basically
it's a muck boy.
like sell out. Like he'll say anything to a woman in fear of being ridiculed or whatever just to
I've never
appease her.
met one of those.
Never met one of
No.
those. I was gonna ask you, like, can you see through that? Because I see that all the time. I'm like, oh my god.
So is that game?
Huh?
Is that game?
I guess. I mean, I see it all the time. Like, and somebody that's the most famous for it is Drake. Drake made his career off being a fucking cuck.
Oh, I'm sorry, but the
I'm just
person
saying.
you're calling is not available right now. Leave your name,
What the fuck
your
is
number.
that?
That's me. Like I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Leave a
man.
message. What?
That's real shit. But
You gotta hold up. You just don't say that to me, and then why you say that? You gotta expound. That's why I want you to
Drake
leave.
is a cuck?
Yeah, leave a message.
Because Drake said things on record that women actually believe exist.
What do you mean?
And they listened to it so much, they started wanting men that are like that. Dudes that have no backbone. Dudes that are just say whatever. Dudes that flat out don't care about themselves just to appease a woman. And he started saying that shit on records. Have you ever heard Marvin's Room?
No.
I'm like, what fucking man talks like this?
Oh, I don't.
Basically, I ain't shit, baby. Walk all over me. I'm a piece of shit. I just want to love you. I'll do anything to kiss your ass type music.
Well, he apologized. That's when he done messed up and he just saying stuff.
No. That's because he would say shit like, fuck that nigga that you like so bad. Like, who talks like that?
That's like reverse psychology. It's like he didn't. I wouldn't even took that serious.
I do. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? That's not even man shit. What the fuck is you saying that for? Like, you just flat out hating on the track. What is that? You crying and you hating on another nigga? What is that?
But I bet you it's so.
It's so.
That's what he's trying to do.
Right.
He out here trying to make record sales. He ain't trying to be politically correct. That's what you here for.
How the fuck did we go from Lauryn Hill to Cardi B?
Appetites changed.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, how you go from anything. Taste buds changed.
I'm saying, how do we go from such an enlightening, smart, pro-black, beautiful woman to just some ratchet ass, dumb
That's like asking somebody, how did you go from lobster to eating pork, chicken, hot dogs?
Exactly.
Your taste buds just ain't. Your
taste buds change. You think
I don't
that's
think
simple?
it's changed. I don't think you've been ever introduced to it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. But think about lobster tails. Everybody can't afford that. Everybody can't. I mean, it ain't like it's expensive, but some people can't afford that, so they eat what they can afford. Okay. I can only dig what I can afford to listen to, what I understand. I can understand what I'm around. I can't understand or something outside of my realm, if you will. That's outside their realm.
Right.
But what she talking about is real life for them. So I'm gonna get with you. You know what I'm saying? We was different. That's something else.
And that's like, what were we talking about at first? Influences, role models.
Yeah, that's what she was talking
being
about.
responsible.
Because I don't even know no role models no more.
Yeah, she talking about sucking dick for money and shit. Crazy.
Well, that's what people been doing. She just put
put her spin on it.
Yeah, she made some money.
Right.
Put it on a record, make some money.
So, we're going to end it right there. I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
It's a shame we have to be continued already, but it's all good. We will leave everything else left on the table to talk about. Like I said before, hit me up on Instagram at Codeine Kong, CODEANKONG, or the Black Room Experience everywhere. Just Google it. And we'll see y'all next time. You heard?
Cheers.
Out.